let's arrive. I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see my little nutcrackers. Christmas scene in the background this week. Just making sure that you're going to be warm and comfortable for this practice. We're going to be weaving in all of the senses today, consolidating everything that we've been practicing over the last 6 weeks. So you're welcome to do this practice sitting or lying down. Taking a moment to settle and arrive, feel the points of contact that you're making with the earth. An invitation to smooth your brow. Relax your jaw and your cheeks. Our facial expressions and muscles have a direct link to our vagus nerve, which is part of our parasympathetic nervous system. And unknowingly, when we're frowning and scrunching and tightening our faces, we move ourselves into the fight-flight mode. So just checking in with ourselves that our shoulders aren't by our ears. You could perhaps bring your shoulders up to your ears and down again. Perhaps move them around. Maybe a few spine twists. Begin. And then settling into stillness. Elongating your spine, checking in with your posture. Honouring this vessel that carries us around. Perhaps setting an intention for the practice to fall awake, to be kind to your experiences. And an invitation to find a point within the breath or the body that you can use as your anchor for the practice, your home button. When you get lost in the practice, lost in the stories and your mind wandering, that you can return your attention here and then refocus when you're ready, bringing yourself back to the meditation, the guidance. And to begin with, I'm going to ask you to focus on your breath. not changing its rhythm in any way. Observing your breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. We're exploring the senses within this practice, so paying particular attention to what you're noticing. Can you smell anything? Can you taste anything? Can you notice any textures? Are there any sounds? Is there a visual experience to your breath? What do temperatures feel like? Being curious, interested, falling awake to the experience of breathing. This simple yet incredibly complex and extraordinary experience of our breath. What does the air passing through your nostrils and down the back of your throat feel like? And from the breath, expanding your awareness to include all of your body, you breathing here in your body. And an invitation to narrow your attention to your experience of sound. What do sounds feel like? Where do you notice them in the body? not particularly searching for sounds, allowing them to arrive. They have a movement, texture. Perhaps noticing how the mind wanders and perhaps labels some sounds pleasant and some sounds unpleasant, neutral. Exploring the textures and colours and shapes, temperatures, movements, sound, as best we can, being with our direct experiences. And each time that we notice that our minds have wandered, congratulating ourselves for noticing. Experimenting perhaps with having your eyes open if they're closed, or closed if they're open. Exploring it, what impact, if any, this has on your experience of sound. And then letting go of paying attention to sounds, bringing your awareness to your body. And scanning your legs, your trunk area, your arms, your head, your scalp. Noticing the fabric of your clothes touching your skin. The contact that you're making with the earth. The sounds in and around your body. And as we sit here, you might notice discomfort, pain, distractions. And as best you can, being with your direct experience. Where is it? Does it have a shape, a colour, a texture, a movement, temperature, a taste? The interruptions. These are part of the practice. These are as much a part of our experience as the soothing and delightful things that we notice. As we practice allowing and letting be, like the breath, the inflow and outflow, the ebb and flow of our experiences, creating space, room for it all. But we don't need to change our experiences by simply allowing them to be as they are. Noticing where the mind wanders and returning it again and again and again back to the body and the breath. We have a few options with how to be with these difficulties. We can move and adjust, weaving the movements into the practice. We can explore the sensations without going directly into them, resting around the edges or going right into the center. You have a choice. And then thirdly, you can breathe here. You can breathe around or into the space, observing if there's any tightening or tension or clenching. This body that houses our experiences, the pleasant, the unpleasant, the mundane and neutral that make up the most part of our days. This is living. The intricacy of noticing the fabric of your clothes against your skin, collars, waistlines, hems, socks, cuffs. And an invitation to move your hands to your face, slowly and deliberately. To smooth your brow, pulling your hands around to your scalp, perhaps lifting your head slightly, elongating your spine. We have a tendency to slump within the practice, to sink down, massaging your scalp. The sounds, the textures. And moving down to the ears. They feel warm or cold. Exploring the textures, hardness, softness, the hair. Are they the same? Are they different? And moving around to the face, sweeping under the eyes. That's tapping around the eyes, the eyebrows, tapping around the eye socket. And then stroking. Around the nose and the cheekbones, the textures. Massaging the jaw. So many muscles on our faces. Massaging the lips. And then coming into stillness. Resting in the felt sensation of having made those movements. Checking in with the breath and your posture. And then an invitation to open your eyes. Focus on a point in front of you. One specific dot. Maybe a grain of wood, a speck on the carpet. Really focusing on that dot. What can you notice? What do the eyes do? Are you blinking? Are the eyes twitching, desperate to look around? What's happened to the breath in your posture? Observing the felt and direct experience of noticing this one spot, this one point. And then expanding your awareness to everything around except the dot. So not moving your gaze, but exploring the outside, your visual field around the dot. The colours and shapes and textures. Without focusing on anything in particular. Being playful. Perhaps noticing how your vision fades in and out like the camera. Searching for what to take a picture of. How the light is reflecting off the objects around us. Going through our eyes and into our brains, and somehow make sense of it in some way. And now an invitation to glaze over, where you're not looking at anything in particular. How everything becomes blurry, maybe sort of jiggles and moves around. And now an invitation to close your eyes. What do you notice? Shapes, colours, textures, movements. And then expanding your awareness to include your brain, your skull, the skin that covers your head, and then moving to include the neck and the arms, the trunk, the right leg and the left leg. Holding yourself in your mind's eye as a whole. This structure, this being, this body, these muscles and ligaments and tendons, organs, these bodies that house our souls. The textures, the shapes, the colours, the movements, the sounds, the tastes. What is it to be you right now? What stands out? What's quiet? And now an invitation to bring your awareness back to your breath. To breathe in and to breathe out. I'm going to close the practice with a poem, so Remaining in Stillness by David Whyte. All those years forgetting how easily you can belong to everything simply by listening. From The Winter of Listening by David Whyte. No one but me by the fire, my hands burning red in the palms while the night wind carries everything away outside. All this petty worry while the great cloak of the sky grows dark and intense around every living thing. What is precious inside us does not care to be known by the mind in the ways that diminish its presence. What we strive for in perfection is not what turns us into the lit angel we desire. What disturbs and then nourishes has everything we need. What we hate in ourselves is what we cannot know in ourselves. But what is true to the pattern does not need to be explained. Inside everyone is a great shout of joy waiting to be born. Even with the summer so far off, I feel it grown in me now and ready to arrive in the world. All those years listening to those who had nothing to say. All those years forgetting how everything has its own voice to make itself heard. All those years forgetting how easily you can belong to everything simply by listening. And the slow difficulty of remembering how everything is born from an opposite and miraculous otherness. Silence and winter has led me to that otherness. So let this winter of listening be enough for the new life I must call my own. So moving and stretching your body. Let's move into having a cup of tea. Maybe I should go and offer the leaf blowers some tea. So I've got olive leaves, and I'm adding them directly into the cup. Gives you something to look at. First tea meditation that I ever went to, the tea was in the cup. You watched it unfurl. Exploring the sights and the sounds, the textures, the tastes, the colours, what you see, what you hear. Let's move into a space of reflection about the practice. And for those of you practicing in your own time, an invitation to press pause and journal. And if anything came up for you within the practice, do reach out. Okay, so our 3-part breathing space. So you can have your eyes open or closed, perhaps having them open if you usually close them. So the idea being that when you're at the Christmas dinner table and somebody said something really shockingly inappropriate, you can have your eyes open and drop into what you're noticing in your body. Perhaps the contact that you're making with the earth, maybe noticing the coolness of the floor if you've not got adequate amount of layers on, anchoring in those sensations. And then narrowing your attention to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps extending that out breath if you can. And then expanding your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. Breathing here. Perhaps just having a look around the space that you're in, that you have shelter and warmth and safety. And as best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next year.